So welcome back. One of my favorite saints, and that is Padre Pio. So if you don't know, he's well known for the stigmata. And if you don't know what a stigmata is, a stigmata is the wounds of Christ in your hands, your feet, and the side. And it can be in one place or it can be in all three. The interesting thing about him, he had all of them, including, which they didn't find out until he passed, he had the shoulder wound from the cross. When she was born, she had a bladder issue, so the doctors removed the bladder and gave the young girl maybe a year or a little bit less than a year to live, because you really can't live without a bladder, and this was 1960s. She had just read the book on Padre Pio because at this time he was well known. People were talking. He was performing miracles. He had the stigmata. I mean, word had got around. When she got there, Padre Pio saw her. He laid his blood-soaked hands on their heads and said a prayer. And by the time they got back to the United States, the doctor's next examination on the young girl, it was a newly formed bladder. In itself was a miracle. The one thing that I love about Padre Pio is, to me, he was a true warrior. Like, his strength was crazy. He was always sick. He never complained. He loved to laugh and joke. And he got beat up, literally, physically, by the devil almost every night in his room. Like, the brothers would hear noises of just like banging and knocking, things falling over, screams. And at breakfast, he would show up and he would have scars, and it was from getting beat up by the devil. He was so used to it that when the devil showed up at night, he would say, "Oh, it's you again." So these are the things that I pray for. I pray for strength like that. And I admire him for that courage. A lot of people will always say, well, you're sick because, you're not doing something right, or you're only having struggles because you're not fasting or you're not praying enough. But I don't believe in things like that. I honestly believe that people who have no struggles, they're living their heaven now. I believe in carrying your cross. That brings me to Saint Bernadette, and I'll get into her. She's another one of my favorite saints. But she saw the Blessed Mother, and the Blessed Mother told her, "I can't promise you happiness now in this life, but in the next." Plenty of places in the Bible it says, pick up your cross. So yeah, there is no easy life. And if there is, then you might need to worry. The devil doesn't mess with or bother people who aren't a threat to him. If he knows you're going to heaven, you're the one he wants to come after. If he knows you're going to be with him, he'll let you chill. Like, it's no worries. So when you see people who seem to have the best things going for them, and never sick, no illness, no issues, remember that all gifts are not from God. When I see the trials and tribulations that Padre Pio went through, know that he went through those for and to help sinners like me, like everybody. But I pray for strength like that. You got to be a bad boy to go up against the devil and not be afraid. Like, to actually know, here he comes again, coming in my room, and it's just like, all right, it's you, cool, and roll over. He's just an awesome dude, and to this day, his body is incorrupt. And when I say he is the most beautiful, incorrupt saint I've seen, like, he and Saint Bernadette, to me, are crazy, like, pristine. their bodies are pristine. September 23rd was his death, and his last words were Jesu, Maria, which is Jesus and Mary. And by the morning of his death, all traces of the stigmatas were gone. Not a scratch on his body. He was declared a saint on May 2nd, 1999. There's a couple of reasons. Oh, and one more. It was another miracle he performed. No pupils. And he laid his hands on her, said a prayer, and by the time she walked out the church, she screamed, "I can see." Now, she lived for a very long time, and she can see like you and I, and she still has no pupils. Another miracle. So that's it. Padre Pio, pray for us. Lord, pray for us. I'll see you soon. Bye.